here with Dara. Dara, your favourite moment this season?
It would have to be 3-2 in St James's Park. Oscar Bob, last minute winner. With Kevin De Bruyne back in the team, it was a big moment now. That was my favourite moment.
That felt like it struck fear into the hearts of the rest of the league, right?
Felt like we were back, you know. Before that, we were slipping away without De Bruyne, so felt like a moment where we're back in it again.
And today, what are you going for the score?
We're going to go 3-1 because we're a bit more vulnerable at the back this season, I think, than the previous season. So I think we're capable of conceding a few.
3-1, love that. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. Okay, so Harry, what's been your favourite moment this season?
Us getting top of the league over Arsenal.
Love that. Do you reckon we'll stay there? What do you reckon the score's going to be today?
3-1 City.
Another 3-1. Who's going to be the goal scorers?
Haaland, De Bruyne and Foden.
Love that. Harry, enjoy the game, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice one. Do that. Okay, so Marley, are you excited today?
Yeah, it's like good experience because hopefully they lift the Premier League and I'll be here to see it and everything.
So what do you reckon the score's going to be?
Probably 2-0, City.
Winning the Premier League will be unbelievable. 4 in a row, but what's been your favourite moment this season?
The 4-4 v Chelsea. That was such a good game. It was really even. What game?
Phil Foden's taken all the awards this year, but who's been your player of the season?
I reckon Foden has deserved it the much. He's been really good this season. I think he's been class.
Marley, thank you very much. Enjoy the game, buddy. So we're here in Mary D's bar. I want to know, what's been your best moment this season? What's been the bit that you went, yeah, that's the one?
Last week, Tottenham.
Tottenham?
Yes, 2-0. Holland, Tottenham, last week.
Do you think it was better because it's against Arsenal's rivals to go back to the top of the league?
No. I think Tottenham should take 1 point and we lose the league.
Stefan Ortega was unbelievable. How important was that to you?
Yeah, I feel good.
Are you excited about the game today?
Not really. I'm nervous already. I will start with the beer for the nerves.
Settle the nerves. And what do you reckon the score's going to be?
I can't guess.
Can't guess? No. Do you want to jinx it? Not a problem. Thank you very much.
2-0. 2-0.
Perfect. That's all we need.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your day, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. Good, Mike. How are you feeling about today?
Worried but excited at the same time. I like the way that City get to this stage. They make it as a fan. They make us work for it. They don't just win it easy. We'll all be worried in that by our time. Arsenal will probably win and City will do something to make us all sort of get scared and worried in that during the game.
I feel like this is just typical City mentality, because if you look at our final results on the final day of the season, needing to win the league, we're all right. We do pretty well, right?
Yeah, of course we do. We always go on a run, don't we, normally from January, February. We normally sort of wipe the floor with everyone, and this year I think just losing Gundogan and Mahrez has just put us back a little bit. And then the goals that they got last year, which always gets us over the line, that's why the Arsenal are close by. I think if it hadn't been for them sort of going, we could have gone to one of them. We'd have won it by now.
What's been your favourite moment this season?
Don't know yet this year. There's not really been a big massive. Normally there was other years there's been a company goal or things like that, and this year I don't know. There's not. Maybe it was the 4 Haaland got. I thought he's back on form now and he'll win it for us now, and I think today he'll get us a hat-trick, so we'll be hopefully by half-time and then we can all enjoy it.
So you reckon Haaland hat-trick, what do you reckon the final score will be?
5-0.
5-0?
Yeah.
I'd take that all day, every single day. I'm here with Nick and Samuel. Guys, first of all, I need to know what's been your favourite moment this season.
What do you reckon?
I think it has to be finally winning at the Hotspur Stadium, because obviously we had a lot of heartbreaks at the stadium, and the times when we didn't get a goal or struggle at the stadium, I think it's really a good boost to get those 2 wins at the Spurs Stadium this year in the FA Cup, and the most important one, getting those 3 points for the Premier League and to have the chance to win the Premier League today.
It was almost sweeter, right? It being Arsenal's biggest rivals, and it could have done them a favour, but we were just too good.
I think the Tottenham bit for me, being a little bit older, experiencing 1981 heartbreak and all that sort of stuff. Nice to go to Tottenham to be able to get 3 points. To come here today, just needing to beat West Ham.
4 in a row. It's never been done before.
No.
Where does that leave Pep's legacy?
He's an absolute legend. Listen, we've got a guy over at Liverpool who's leaving today. has won 1 Premiership and is being lauded as the best manager ever. We got a guy here, won 4, because we are going to win today, and we'll probably do 5 next year.
I love that confidence. Sammy, what do you reckon the score's going to be today?
Oof. I think it's going to be a tough one because I would say 3-1 because I think City's got the squad, they got everyone fit, they're all ready, and whoever scores first will get the big chance. But at the end of the day, Manchester City are the kings of comeback, so you never know what you get to expect from the team.
I love it. I was going to say, you 3-1, you think we go straight for 3, and then they get a... But you're not sure why you say they might do a little bit, might do typical City on the final day of the season, right?
We shouldn't do typical City anymore. We need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that.
It will always be in the fans' minds, though, right?
Everybody driving here today will all be thinking, we could be 2-0 down with 2 minutes to go and still win 5-2.
It's the team, it's what we do, right? Fight to the end, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much.
No,
enjoy the game.
Cheers,
thank you. Okay, guys, what has been your favourite moment this season?
So my favourite moment was the save from Ortega in the Tottenham game. Last 5 minutes, what a save. And it's hopefully won us the league, I think.
How incredible is it to have like a goalkeeper of that standard just be able to come off the bench? And it's just like, if there's a little bit of an injury, it's just like, yeah, we've got a world-class goalkeeper on the bench. It's crazy, right?
I think it's amazing. I think this could be what's won us the league, basically. Because if that goal goes in, we won't win the league. So it's amazing, yeah. And he's been incredible all season for the games he's played, Ortega. I think he's one of the unsung heroes.
There's always big moments. Company goal, Aguero's goal, Ortega's save. Do you reckon that could be up there?
Yeah, I think Ortega's save is my favourite moment of the season.
What about yourself? Yeah. What's your favourite moment?
Yeah, probably the same as that. I think today could probably turn out to be the favourite moment. We'll see. I think probably the same. The save against Spurs. It's a defining moment anyway in the season. Yeah.
How are you feeling about today? Are you nervous? Are you excited? What's in your heart?
I think City will win, but I'm nervous. Yeah, but I think they'll win. Yeah, I'm confident. Yeah.
It's a strange feeling, right? You're confident, you're nervous. It's all over the place. What about yourself?
Yeah, just hope that we get an early goal, and I think it'll be fine then. But if we don't, it could be.
Early goal, settle the nerves. Yeah. What do you reckon the score's going to be today?
I think 3-1.
Oh, we've got a lot of 3-1s. What about yourself?
1-0.
Oh, I'm like it's reserved, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with Jack. How are you feeling about today, Jack?
I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. We're 3 hours before kickoff, aren't we? I'm a bit nervous, but a few of these will get me all right. But yeah, I think I'm pretty confident. I just hope they don't go one goal up early. That's my worry.
I feel like all City fans are the same. We've got a very good record winning the league on the last day of the season, but we don't do it easy. Is that what gets you? Is that what makes you feel a little bit?
100%. I mean, Pep said it, didn't he, earlier this week in the press conference? He's like, I think it's going to be like Villa. And yeah, that got my heart going. It really did.
Pitter-patter, pitter-patter.
Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, yeah. So, but it's just about if we can then get the next goal quick. And then we'll be in control, you know, how we keep it controlled and stuff. So I think we'll be all right, just a few heart-skipping moments during it.
What's been your favourite moment this season?
Probably got to say United at home. Spurs last game was big, really, really big. I was worried before. I'm a bit of a pessimist. I was worried before, but I mean the way the lads kind of kept that one out. And then we got the penalty in the last stages, so that was huge because I was worried about that. And today, hopefully, we can just relax and take it steady.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Phil Foden has been ridiculous, swept all the awards pretty much. Who's been your player this season, though?
I'd have said Rodri.
Really?
Yeah, I'd have said Rodri. I think the way that we play without him, you know, if he's not in the team, and then when he's in the team, you've seen like Declan Rice say he's a class apart, which he is. But Foden really stepped up, especially when De Bruyne was out early on in the season, and we're just lucky to have him out there.
Oh,
really lucky. Yeah.
The final question: score prediction for today.
Score prediction. So I think they'll go ahead early, and we'll win 3-1.
We've got a lot of 3-1s. Nice. I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah,
right, thank you very much. Enjoy the game. We're here with our treble trophy tour competition winners, Daryl and Nathan. You guys have flown all the way from Dubai, right?
Yes, exactly.
How was it? How are you excited about today?
Yes, very much.
Very excited.
Very excited?
Yeah.
What has been your favourite moment this season? Nathan, I'll start with you.
Maybe the Oscar Bob late goal against Newcastle. That was really wonderful. And when Kevin De Bruyne came back, it felt so good, honestly. To have him back from injury, it's so good, honestly. Yeah.
And what about yourself?
The one that started the season, home game, where assist from Phil Foden and Alvarez made a goal. That was my favorite part. Yeah.
Talking to Phil Foden, player of the season, been unbelievable. But who's been your player of the season?
I still feel Foden, still nice.
Can't deny it, can you? He's been unbelievable. And what about yourself?
Phil Foden, yeah.
Phil Foden, I love it. Full house. And finally, score prediction for today. What do you reckon?
I'm saying 4-0.
4-0. I love it. I need that. I need it. And what about yourself, Nathan?
I'm going to be a little bit cautious. I'm going to say Manchester City 3, West Ham 1.
Oh, we've had a lot of 3-1s. Right, guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the game. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. Welcome to the Etihad Stadium for our final Premier League game of the season against West Ham, as we see our boss aiming to win 4 Premier League titles in a row, which would be a record. We're going into the fixture 2 points clear of Arsenal, knowing a win today will claim a 4th title and a place in history. Rodri is coming off the bus as we see the arrivals outside on a sunny Manchester day. Not quite sure if they need the jackets because the last home game of the season is always sunny. We can see John Stones, Rico Lewis and Nathan Ake, Jeremy Doku, Mateus Nunes too. We'll have that all-important team news for you very, very soon here on Matchday Live. And joining us in the studio today are not 1, not 2, but 3 Manchester City legends, Steph Houghton, Joleon Lescott and Nedum Onuoha. Steph, big day. A win will do it. 4 titles in a row. How are you feeling?
I'm excited, actually. I think in comparison to how I felt on Tuesday night when they were playing Spurs, I think today, being at home, being at the Etihad, the record that we have here, and yeah, I'm really super confident, to be honest.
It's nice to play at home, isn't it, Nedum? With the record we've got. For players, the occasion, obviously it's important, but they've just got to get the job done, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I think there'll be some sense of like nervousness, but it's like excitement, you know, to get a chance to win a league title on your home ground, you know, with 50,000 people, however many it is. That's genuinely exciting. I think so many people, you know, like Joleon, like Steph, get the chance to do that. But for everybody else, it's like a dream to be able to be out there doing something like they're going to potentially do today.
Now, of course, Joleon, we're going to touch on it later on in the show, but you've been here before on the final day of the season. Explain the atmosphere that day, and in particular the atmosphere today.
Yeah, the atmosphere will obviously get louder and louder as we get closer to the game, but I was speaking about that occasion, the Aguero moment last night to a group of fans and saying, I don't actually remember the goal and what the scenery, but the noise. I'll never forget the noise, and it's never been replicated for me after my career, in the rest of my career after that, but it's a unique sound.
Hopefully we're going to have a lot of noise here at the Etihad, which we will. Steph, we have to touch on it as well. Your last game yesterday, how was that? How was the evening that you had with the team? And overall, congratulations on an amazing career.
Yeah, I mean, obviously disappointing not to win the league. We came so close, but I think in terms of effort and energy, the girls couldn't have given much more this season, and that it's like them fine margins in terms of managing games at certain moments. But yeah, really unbelievable reception from both sets of fans yesterday. Very emotional and not a bad night out either yesterday as well. So end of the season, it's got to be done.
And not a bad reception every time you touch the ball at Villa Park as well.
I thought, please don't mess it up. That's all I kept on thinking. Please just pass to someone in white, basically, yesterday.
We'll have the team news for you very, very soon here on Matchday Live, but I'll come to you both about Steph as well. An absolute legend, not just at Manchester City, but of the women's game as well.
Absolutely.
What do you make of the career?
It's just a legend of just English football in general. I think she just transcends sort of like gender with that side of things as well. She's so well known and she deserves it. I think when you can go to another stadium for your last game and have everybody cheer for you, that is a very, very unique position, and obviously she'll try and be all shy with it, but I think for all the games...
It's the nicest thing he's ever said.
I know, so clip that up because I'm not going to be doing it again. But I think for all the work that she's done, and I think even her story, the way she began, you know, when she was at Sunderland, when she's not having the chance to like see lots of women's football on TV, I think the path that she's laid is one that many will try and sort of replicate now. But without her, then I don't think that would be the case.
What do do you want me to say after that?
Well, I tell you what, there's not much we need to say.
Can someone send me this clip?
Yeah,
we'll get it clipped up for you, and please remember.
I will say he meant every word, and it is genuine. Like, definitely the facts. Like,
and you can see the team news below, so we'll cut to that now. But Steph,
put you off, you know.
Yeah,
it's all right. Yeah, just a moment for Steph, not too long now.
That's all right. We've got plenty of time throughout the show to talk about Steph, which we will. You can see the team on the screen. In goal is Stefan Ortega, and then our captain making his 300th appearance for Manchester City is Kyle Walker. Then it is Akanji, Ruben Diaz, Josko Vardiol, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, big to see him starting, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, and our number 9, Erling Haaland. Let's take a look at that team. One change, Jeremy Doku's coming in, Joleon. Again, he played really well against West Ham earlier on in the season, and he's had a really good impact recently as well.
Yeah, his cameo against Spurs, I think that's probably the driving force for him getting selected today. And you just have to create 1v1s for him. I think the more 1v1s, the more success he has. And even if he's not having the best game, he's still exciting to watch. He's still a threat for Man City, so I'm sure that's the thought behind him starting.
He's got really, really quick feet, Nedum, hasn't he?
Oh, he absolutely has, yeah. And obviously, you know, he's showing the highlights from this game, and he made a big difference. I think this was just after half-time as well. Yeah. And he kind of set the tone for what needed to be an important half of football for them. I think his ability to really be on the front foot, hit griddies as well, but to be on the front foot and go and try and take people on, you know, I'm a big fan of it, especially when you come up against sides who want to maybe drop back a little bit. I think as a defender, if you can be comfortable and have everyone in front of you not coming at you, great. When someone wants to come at you over and over and over, and they can go both ways, you know, it does make you feel uncomfortable, especially on days like this where it's going to be piping hot outside as well.
And there's an extra, obviously there's one less person in midfield, Steph, and does that show the intent from Pep to want to go out there? We have to win the game and to attack from the outset.
Yeah, I think so. I think in Kovacic, I think, has been amazing these last few games. I think in midfield doing a really good job and linking up with Foden, De Bruyne, Rodri, and having a bit more defensive stability. But like you said, we've got a league to go and win today, and Doku's done really well in the 20-25 minutes he's been playing over these last few games, and he looks a lot more decisive than he did at the beginning of the season. And I think in this game, there's no better person to go and play on that wing.
He'll be really, really excited. I mean, Kyle Walker, 300 appearances, Nedum.
Yeah.
Manchester City, it seems like it's just gone by so quick, and he's still playing at such a high level, isn't he?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think myself and Joleon, we were discussing that. That's a lot of football play. That's a lot of availability, and that's a real high standard as well in terms of performance. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to reach that milestone. And those games as well, especially towards the end of the season, these are huge games. Very rarely is it just a case of just amassing games at the end that don't matter. He's played in some of the biggest games in the club's history. And I think for him today as well, what's important, this is potentially a chance for him to lift a Premier League trophy as captain. You know, I think he mentioned it before the Spurs game, or after the Spurs game, about how he couldn't sleep the night before. Well, today I'm sure he'll be excited. Imagine number 300, you're lifting a Premier League trophy as skipper.
Get off me.
Imagine that.
No, I spoke to him before the Fulham game, and he said that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest motivation. It's not the 4 in a row. This will be the most special trophy he's won because he'll be lifting it. So, yeah, hopefully he gets it done.
He did actually say, let's make history as well. What a captain. Stefan Ortega. We cannot leave Stefan Ortega out because, I mean, the Tottenham game's fresh in everyone's minds, but there's so much more to it, Steph, than Stefan Ortega. He's come off the bench and he saved 11 of the 13 shots on target he's faced when coming off the bench. What a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think obviously this season he's played a massive role, and I think no bigger than the one that he played on Tuesday in terms of coming on in such a high pressurised game. I don't think the lads really settled as much as what they probably would have normally, just because of what's at stake. But I think here, when you've got Son running at you, just to be able to make that spread at that time and keep us at 1-0 was unbelievable, and probably one of the biggest moments of the season if the boys go and do it today.
Well, yeah, it's an absolutely incredible save. Nedum, Joleon, have you ever been in that position as a defender where you're chasing with a person going through on goal and just fearing the worst?
Yeah, and it's not always ended up with that outcome, to be fair. It normally ends up in the goal, but yeah, there's many times, a few with Joe Hart especially, I remember them going through and he making pivotal saves at important moments, but that will be remembered. If they go on to win the trophy today, that will be remembered.
It absolutely will, and so will Pep falling on his back as well, which we've seen all over the internet this week. Got some news from the Arsenal game, actually, which is an interesting one for you all. You guys don't know this yet, but of course...
They're losing.
No, they're not losing. They're not started yet, Joleon. They're playing at the same time of us today. I wish they were losing. Bukayo Saka is not in the squad for Arsenal. We'll try and find out why, but that's interesting.
Doesn't matter.
But Jolie, that was my next question. It doesn't matter.
No, listen, you don't want him to be seriously injured for England point of view, but in regards to what it means today, yeah, that's not a name I wanted to see on the team sheet, because he's a scorer of important goals, and his level of consistency has been so high throughout the season, so he definitely would have been the main threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there is a West Ham player missing from the starting lineup. Let me just run through that starting lineup for you. Jared Bowen is not in the squad today. It's Areola in goal, then it's Kufal, and then it's Kurt Zuma, Mavropanos, Cresswell, Emerson, Souček, Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Kudos and Antonio, as we see David Moyes, who is managing West Ham for the last time, Nedum, a fantastic manager. He's done a fantastic job. Today will mean a lot to him, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think obviously maybe he would have wanted to stay, but I think the boss has decided that it's time for him to move on, and I think he wants his team to go out well. I think when you look at, say, his time at West Ham, he's received so much criticism from, say, certain people at the football club, but he's also won them a trophy, and it's such a tough thing to disregard because, well, tell us the last time he did it, and you're going back decades. So I think he's been a very significant, consequential manager for them, but he knows the job's not done. This is one of the most experienced managers in the league. He's going to set his side up to try and sort of end on a high, because those fans travelling up north for this game, they're not here to watch City, they're here to watch West Ham.
When you're at a point in the season where you've potentially not got much to play for, Joleon, or as Steph as well, like, I mean, how do you approach this game? Is it just a free hit, or is it?
It depends. It's not a free hit. You can approach it in a carefree manner, not a careless manner. I think you can go there and you're a bit more expansive with your touch, or you're attempting certain things. But again, you're not trying to get embarrassed. But it's different because they would have achieved or not achieved their objective earlier in the season, so they've had time to kind of relax emotionally and understand that, yeah, it is another game, but listen, they won't want to be embarrassed, and David Moyes certainly won't want to end his game or end his career at West Ham with a heavy defeat. So, yeah, they ain't going to go out there and just roll over. They're going to have to be.
And Steph, what I'll ask you as well is, they've got Paqueta, they've got Kudos, they've got Antonio. Do you expect this side to try and play on the counter? Do you think they'll play with a low block? And
yeah, I think with the players that they have got that can play in them forward positions, I think they've got pace, they've got skill, they've got ability to drive at our back four or back three sometimes, and that could be a danger for us. But I think the way that we play and the amount of ball that we do have, we are used to them playing against that system. And we mentioned Kyle Walker before, and the likes of Guardiola and Diaz and Akanji, like, they are all super unbelievable in 1v1 situations. And if it comes to that, then I'm sure we'll be okay.
I think if you're nervous, you've just got to listen to the three legends in the studio, because I'm feeling better already. Let's take a look at the Premier League table in the race for the title. 2 points clear. Liverpool, of course, out of the title race.
Why are they on this?
Pushed us far. Yeah, good question. It is a two-horse race. Joleon, we're looking at the table now. Do you expect Arsenal and Manchester City both to win today?
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if they don't. Again, Arsenal anticipate that. They'll have to go into their game fully committed in terms of them getting the 3 points, but they're both at home. I think there would be a bit more optimism from either team if one of them was away, but the home form has been so strong, so you would expect them both to win.
Arsenal playing Everton today, Nedum, and they've taken points off Arsenal already at Goodison, taken points off Liverpool in this title race.
You're trying to speak into existence, yeah?
I'm trying my best, yeah, and I'm hoping you're following.
No, I think Everton are probably the most forgotten about team in this weekend, because I've heard a lot of talk about City, a lot of talk about Arsenal, a lot of talk about West Ham, but people are forgetting that Everton are a side who've had quite a few good results down in London specifically, and a style of play which can be robust when you sort of come under pressure as well. So they'll make a good go of it. I don't think Sean Dyche's going to allow his team to just sort of like, think about the beach at any point during that game. And I think as well, you mentioned before about the idea of not having something to play for. I think for some, you see that more when their backs are against the wall. How do they respond? And I think a Sean Dyche team is always going to be there where 100% is the minimum. So I think they'll make a good game of it. But again, like that Arsenal game, it's only really interesting if something's happening in this game. I think that's a privileged position that, say, City fans can be at this moment in time.
And for those of you who are wondering, on Matchday Live, he's wearing a tracksuit today, Sean Dyche, but he's gone for a short-sleeve T-shirt.
Has he?
So if there's anyone superstitious...
Nothing more dangerous than a tracksuit, Dyche, is there?
Are you superstitious, Steph, at all?
Very. I would be like, yeah, you're definitely wearing that again if we've won the last few.
Throughout your career, did you have any superstitions?
Yeah, like, I don't know whether it's superstition or routine. I don't know, there's a little bit of a...
Depends on what it is.
I
think it's probably too long to probably
go on the show, so that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Right, I mean, going into a game like this, we're going to go pitch side by the way to Brownie very, very soon. Going into a game like this, Joleon, you can't stop laughing, can you?
This guy, he said, it depends how weird. I want to know what it is, Alistair.
I mean, I left boot on before, right? It's
That's not weird. No, that's fine. I just didn't know where he...
No, listen, Steph, anything could happen, mate.
Oh, wow.
All right, okay.
Did you have any superstitious things, anything?
As long as I felt good going out onto the field, then it's fine. Sometimes that might mean I'm doing pre-activation, sometimes it might mean I'm just joking with people, but as long as I felt like fine, then it didn't really bother me at all.
Well, listen, enough about superstition. We're going to go to pitch side where Liam Loftus is joined by Michael Brown.
Brownie, team news is in. 2 changes for City. Obviously, Ortega in for Edison and Docker in for Kovacic. What are you thinking?
I think it's always a strange situation when there's a couple of changes, but you just look at the squad, the strength in depth that Pep Guardiola has. I understand why Jeremy Doku's come in on that wider position. Bernardo and Phil have been doing so well, starting out there, coming inside. But he might have found that, with the setup that West Ham have, he wants to be a little bit more of a threat, higher up, that pace, that one-on-one in those situations, rather than a Bernardo who would want to come inside, join up. So I get that. Obviously, it's a shame for Kovacic. You've got to use all of your squad, that's for certain. Goalkeeper was a forced one, although did exceptionally well, didn't he, against Spurs, and a couple of good saves when he come on the pitch. But strong squad, an interesting West Ham team, always difficult to go up against, but I feel confident with that side.
Kyle Walker, 300 appearances for Man City. How important is he to the team?
Well, he's getting on, isn't he? 300 appearances. Do you know what? He's relentless with his professionalism, that determination, that pace that he's got, level of understanding. When I say that, training, he's so focused that he wants to get the job done. He wants to get the squad better and better and do what he wants to do. He wants to lift a Premier League trophy. That's what he's here for today. He wants to try and do that. So the amount of games, really, really impressive what he's gone on and done. And just how they're going to set up against him. Because everyone looks and goes, right, if Kyle Walker's in that team, City might be able to creep up a little bit higher. Can we go 1v1, or do we have to take it away from that and send our main players on other sides of the pitch?
Let's talk West Ham. No Jared Bowen. It's a big loss for the Hammers, right?
Yeah, big loss. Jared Bowen's ill, I believe. I've just been talking to the West Ham staff, and yeah, he's not made it. But Kudos, who's been playing down on that left-hand side, would have been a really good match for Walker. I think he's going to go across to the other side. So that'll be interesting how you cope with him, with that threat. Antonio, Paquetá as well. Obviously, he's been on radars of top clubs. Me mentioned for Manchester City even along the way. So, experienced Premier League players now who have got flair, have got an understanding. Bowen is a miss, that one that they want to spin him behind. Mikel Antonio wants to hold it up, wants to be at the top of the pitch, and he needs dealing with.
You spoke about Kudos moving to the other side. Where are the key battles going to be? Where's this game won and lost?
I think for me, you look at the forward line for Manchester City. I think if those chances can be taken, because they're going to control possession. They're going to move them around, they're going to try and thread, they're going to try and move people inside. So if the wider positions can create, and the likes of Erling Haaland and can get on the end of things very, very quickly, an early goal will really be really important today.
I can't believe we've not spoken about him. Rodri, 49 games unbeaten in the Premier League, looking for that 50th. What a player he's been this season, right?
See, the midfield's the most important. That's what I keep telling everybody. Unselfish player. And what he's good, really, is that, even if you're next to him now, he's happy of saying, well, OK, I'll still take the ball. So even if you're this close to him, you can't get it. His arm comes up, and he just makes it so difficult, just turns out, moves it the other way, and he knows exactly now his role. When to leave that middle of the pitch, when to drive forward and support, when to stay back. So it's that understanding, that sort of maturity. There's only games with experience of playing more games, and I think the people around him, Kovacic, he's only going to learn off him. Kevin De Bruyne is different, isn't he? And we've seen, obviously, many players come into that middle zone, but he is the master of it now.
Brownie, thank you very much. Back to you, FG, in the studio.
Very much. Liam and Michael Brown looking as good as ever. Let's touch on what Brownie said then. We'll talk about Mikel Antonio, the threats you think he'll offer to this West Ham side today, Joleon?
Yeah, I think these circumstances are when he thrives. I think if they had more possession and high up the pitch, I don't think he's as effective. But you give him like half a pitch, 2v1, not in his favour. That's when he wants to shine. So he definitely is a threat, but I'm hoping everyone else does enough for City in regards to scoring more opportunities.
Now, this is a question for all of you in the studio based on the position you play. Do you relish the opportunity to play against the big strikers and the physical ones? Or, I mean, Nedum, I know you...
No, it's not even that, to be fair, because I think where I think it's different, when we talk about like football, sometimes think about the individual, but it's about the service as well. It's about the way your team plays, their team plays. Are you in a position where you're standing on the halfway line with all the space in the world versus someone, or are you more protected? You know, are you playing to their strengths or your own? But I didn't mind it, but I enjoyed more so playing against people who are more thinkers, because then you've got to add more to your game. I think the physical side of things, I think you can see that up and down the leagues. But the real thinkers that keep you constantly on your toes, they're the ones that make you a better player, in my opinion. And I think Antonio, obviously, he is a good player. He's a Premier League player. You know, he's an international, and he's, as Joleon said, like, it doesn't really matter if it's 2v1 as long as he has space. So how will City try and take away the space? You've got to think your way through it, because I think it's probably going to be quicker than, say, people will be playing against today.
West Ham season's petering out a little bit. In the last 2 away games, they've conceded 5+ goals. Now, off-camera, Steph's very confident today, as always. Do you think that matters going into a game like this? Will that be in the back of the minds of the players, knowing that they've played away the last 2 games and it's not gone well in a defensive point of view?
Yeah, I think just to touch on what the lad said before, I think obviously the last game of the season, but I think with David Moyes leaving, for those that are at West Ham next year, I think it's an opportunity to impress the new manager, whoever that's coming in. I think sometimes as a footballer you pride yourself on your performance and the energy that you put into the game. So I expect a tough game against these, especially if they are going to play like 5 at the back. They've got some good players back there who can make it difficult for us. But I think we just have too much quality, and we have the patience as well to be able to break them down.
I hope you are right. Let's have another word on David Moyes then, Joleon. The job he's done here, of course, he won them a trophy last year. I mean, sometimes it's a bit strange when you see a manager sort of career end at a club the way it has. How do you think he'll be feeling?
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with the way it's ended. But when he looks back, and when, more importantly, when West Ham look back as a club and as a fan, a group of fans, they'll respect the job he's done, because they're going to have to expect the next manager to come in and emulate that, and it's not going to be easy to do because he set the bar so high. And as I said, there was always a nearly team in regards to getting to Europe or winning that trophy, but he kind of crossed that bridge for them, and they have to remember that and respect it.
And you know him very well, of course. And what was he like in terms of his man management and his overall manager style?
From what I hear now and what I know of players working with him, his man management's got a lot better. He prided himself on tactically, he was very good. He openly admitted his man management wasn't his best strength, and that's okay, because tactically we knew what to do and what he wanted us and what he asked of us. So as long as you implemented that, you got his respect. But I think he's developed and understood the generation of football has changed, so you have to be more personal to them and you have to have a different type of relationship.
Yeah, you do indeed. James Ward-Prowse as well, Nedum. He's playing for West Ham. He scored in the reverse fixture. He offers so much in a set-piece style, but also as a player as well. He's going to be a threat for them as soon as they get a set-piece. I mean, he's the man who can deliver a ball better than many.
Yeah, better than many, but is he the best set-piece taker on the field?
I don't think so, because we've got a...
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Free kicks, I would say.
Yeah, it's got goal-scoring ones, yeah, but in terms of like crosses and things like that, I think he does deliver a really good ball. You know, I think even with his goal itself, deciding when to go forward and making sure that when he gets there, he finishes it with something on target or an action, that's great. And he is a really, really good player. And I think for West Ham, he'll be hugely important today, because if they're going with that back 5 and they're not expecting a ton of possession, then set pieces will matter even more to them. But again, I'm hoping he has a really stinking day, to be perfectly honest with you. But ultimately as well, the team will know his strengths, because if we know it, they'll know it. And they've been working on it, so ultimately they're going to try and take that away however they can.
Well, Pep actually said, Steph, previously that he is the best set-piece taker in the Premier League. I think I'd put De Bruyne over him.
Yeah, I think so. I think in terms of his consistency, his quality, and in big moments as well, I think that's the thing with Kevin De Bruyne, is that he's able to produce that quality in the biggest moments when the team need him, and that's happened for a lot of years now. And I mean, I love Ward-Prowse in terms of how he whips the ball, and especially his free kicks. I think he's scored some absolute screamers. Hopefully not today, but a big admirer. But I think Kev probably just pips him.
Yeah, I would agree with you. In the lead up to the game as well, City have been working on set pieces a little bit more, Joleon. They know about the threat. When you're leading up to a game like this and you've got sort of the extra few days to prepare, you're going to be feeling confident, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Again, I don't think they leave any stone unturned, especially set pieces. They use them. I think that the Fulham game was a big thing for me, the way they identified how the weakness was and how they tried to, Fulham tried to push out and not recognise there was a man left in behind. So whoever the set-piece coach and the team around that are doing an exceptional job, because throughout the season there's been little moments when you've recognised this is specific to that team and not just a generic set-piece. So they're obviously identifying weaknesses in all the opposition.
It's been a bit of a strange season, hasn't it, Nedum, in terms of with the title race? A lot of people have written off City at points in the season, but this team is always there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely they are. But so they're obviously a very, very good side, and they go about their business. But then when another team drops points, people seem to want to blame City for it. It's like a really strange feeling. Like the weekend, probably was it a month and a half ago, where Liverpool lost at home to Palace and Arsenal lost at home to Villa. Like all of a sudden that was City's fault. Oh, it's because they won on the day before. Well, the teams up near the top, they win a lot of football games. That's just the way that things go. But I think the fact that they've been able to give themselves a chance, and speaking with, say, the likes of Ruben Diaz and I like it for the podcast earlier in the year, they talk about the excitement of making sure they're just in the mix come March time. They didn't say they have to be top. They want to feel that rush of knowing that every game is massive for them to try and win something. And when they are in the mix, you know, they do tend to deliver. Obviously, there have been some disappointments along the way, but it's like they love it, they live for it. But it's not to say that it's easy. I think they just love the challenge, and the bigger the challenge, the more they seem to step up.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you who else has been stepping up. It's Puma with the new Manchester City kit that I am wearing right now.
How much was that?
Well, listen,
yours was free. Say,
do you want one as well, Nedum?
Depends what size it is.
We'll get Nedum one. Okay, so yeah, it was released on Thursday, and the players won't be wearing it today. But a man who was involved in it is rapper Taze from Manchester. We're going to play the VT, and then we're going to grab a word with him at pitchside.
Everybody rise, Manchester's calling. 0-1-6, one back to scoring. The Blues in town, so you know we balling. One set from the trophies calling. Better start engraving our name in the cup. Can't talk about the best, it's blatantly us. We're taking the cups, I ain't making this up. This game was catered to us. Us Manx, we stick together. Not for a while, this love's forever. To get that win, our kids will do whatever. Composed, don't feel the pressure. We got what it takes, hard work and grit. Repping 0-1-6 when it's on the kit. Cause Manx don't lose, man, that's a myth. We dedicate our lives to this. Cause we global, 0-1-6, one local. Now the world knows we're noble. Could be Brazil, Japan, or even France. When you wear this badge, the Manx. Everybody rise, Manchester's calling. 0-1-6, one back to scoring. The Blues in town, so you know we balling. One set from the trophies calling.
Taze, thanks for joining us. The voice behind the kit we're wearing right now.
What's happening? You okay?
I'm good, very well.
Very nice day.
Talk to me about the process. Like, what was it like when Puma approached you, man?
To be completely honest, when I first got approached by it, I thought it was some practical joke. I thought this can't be real. So I did a bit more digging and realised, oh my God, they want me to do this. So yeah, so obviously as a massive City fan, I could not believe it. And yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to represent my club.
Imagine that moment. It's like, should I air this or should I do a bit more digging? You'd have been kicking yourself, right?
I know, I could not believe it. Like, serious madness.
Let's talk lyrics. How did it come to you? What was the process? Like, what was your thought process in coming to them?
To be fair, it was fairly easy, like creating it, because obviously it's something you're passionate about anyway. And just with how excited I was to make the whole thing, it just came fairly easy to be honest. Yeah.
With like the creative process, obviously with your own music videos, you do them. Was it different? Was it like different being like collaborative almost?
No, because I have done collaborative kind of things before, but nothing to this extent. Do you know what I mean? So I think just the excitement. To be honest, I've still not right now took it in fully anyway. So I don't really know, to be honest. It's just absolute madness to me, all this.
We were talking off camera about how kits are tied to players or people. It's special. Like, this is now like a kit that's tied to you.
Just that sentence there just blows my mind. Like, I'm just so grateful just to be here, to be honest.
Obviously, a lot of the players feature in the music video. Can we see a little collab again, maybe? Get some of the boys up?
I hope so. I'll definitely be messaging them saying, come and get me video. $1 million%.
Do you reckon any of them have a little bit, maybe a little feature? Apparently Bernardo's a pretty good singer. Could we see him? Maybe Ake on the piano?
I'll take any of them, to be honest. I'd take any single one of them.
Well, hold that note. What about Joleon Lescott? He's a DJ. Could we see that?
That's mad. I played a charity game with him yesterday. Yeah, very nice lad.
So you're making the ground look already?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get mate with him so we could do something with him. Do you know what I mean?
Let's talk this season. How have you felt this whole year?
I think it's been overall a good season. We're about to do the 4 in a row that no one's done before. So yeah, you can't complain. We're going to get the job done today. and happy days.
Arsenal pushing us again. Do you think it's a good rivalry? Do you like the Arsenal-City rivalry? Is that getting you up in the morning?
Yeah, of course. I think it gives us something to get up for, do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think it'll bring the best out of us.
And today, what are you thinking? Who's going to be the man? Who's going to do the bits?
I reckon Phil Foden will be the man today.
And finally, score prediction.
I reckon it'll be 3-1. 3-0 and then a late consolation goal that we're not even bothered about, do you know what I mean?
Give him a little something.
Yeah, a little something to go on with.
Taze, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Back to you, FG.
Thank you very much, Liam, and thank you very much, Taze. DJ, say less. He's a nice lad. How's the
Yeah, he's a good lad, yeah. He's a good lad. He's a good lad, yeah.
Kid. Nah, he's decent, you know. I swear, Dan, he played in a variety of positions yesterday. He was nice on the ball, man. And he worked hard, to be fair. That's key, yeah. That's the thing. He wasn't just trying to just get the ball and just showcase what he's good at. He was like, nah, I need to graft. Yeah, he was decent.
So that collab's going to happen, then we're all going to see.
I'm all over it.
We need to get a Matchday Live Joleon Lescott set, don't we, Steph?
I was going to say.
You paying? Working for free.
Well,
hey, working for free.
We'll have to speak to the people in my ears about that. We'll have to talk about the fee another time. Etihad Player of the Season. The final time. The nominees are in. We've got the final three. So it's
Player of the Month or Season?
Player of the Season
okay.
From Etihad, okay? And we've got Phil Foden, Rodri and Erling Haaland. The voting closes after the game today. Phil Foden's won his awards in terms of in the Premier League, but Rodri wasn't nominated.
Yeah,
that's mad.
Crazy.
So where do you guys see this vote heading as we see an absolute sensational strike from...
For me, I think it goes to Rodri. I think because of the amount of noise created about him not being nominated for the other one, if you then don't give it to him in this, it's like, well, this doesn't feel right. And I know Phil's had an incredible season, but I don't think the City fans take Rodri for granted. I think they understand what's what. And also, like, not to take it personally, but the way these award nominations and stuff go, it doesn't really make sense anyway. Yeah. I think there was Odegaard who was up for the main one, but then he didn't make the young one, even though he's young enough to be in the young one. So, as I say, never take anything like that to heart.
When you're in a dressing room like that and you feel like one of your best players, if not your best players, underappreciated, Steph, is it a conversation to be had, or is it just a case of just blocking out the outside noise?
No, I think it is a conversation that happens, obviously, especially with the likes of all the social media, Instagram. I mean, ours came out this week, and I'm thinking some people's team of the year. I'm just thinking, where's Hagasawa? Like, where is Yui in there? Like, she's been unbelievable. And but I think, like, kind of what Nedum says in terms of, I think it probably means more from your teammates and your fans, like how much they appreciate it. And Rodri is definitely up there, but for me, I just can't look any further than Phil Foden for this season. I think in terms of his consistency, but also then adding the goals and the assists, he's been the player that we've looked to go and like win them performances this season.
It's been big moments from Phil, hasn't it? And Joleon, where's your head turning in this vote?
It's a tough one, this. And in the greatest respect, Haaland's third. Like, I think we're all confident.
27's not enough, is
20,
it?
Yeah, no, his bar was too high. But in regards to Phil and Rodri, I was just trying to think then, if one of them wasn't available for the whole of the season, like, which one gives us more opportunity to win the league? And I'm saying if you don't have Rodri, I don't think you're in this position. I still think we're in this position if we don't have Phil. I don't know why. So I'll probably go Rodri, even though I'm probably Phil's biggest fan, but I don't think there's a bad decision, but I'd probably go Rodri.
And Rodri's unbeaten record, Nedum.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking we definitely would have lost more games, if Rodri's not playing the whole of the season.
Yeah, that unbeaten record is so wild. And it feels more wild because we don't discuss stuff like that. Yeah. We talk about teams, and all of a sudden we've realised Rodri's not lost a game in a year.
But we talk about individual stats, as in Phil's goals and assists, but we don't talk about the most important one. Rodri hasn't lost a game.
Yeah. Imagine that feeling, like a year.
Invincible. But also for Spain, I don't think it's just restricted to Man City. I think I don't think he's lost a game of football. So
it's a nice feeling, that.
Yeah. But he's also added goals, Steph, as well. Sheffield United away is the one I'm thinking of. Chelsea.
Well, you say added. He gets goals,
his assist is up there as well, I think.
I think he's got 7 league goals, 9 assists for a number 6, allegedly.
That's why I give respect and homage to Kovacic, because I think when he come in the team, he allowed him to get forward a little bit more and recognise, okay, I don't have to be the pivot all the time. I can get a bit further forward and create opportunities.
I mean, listen, the votes close after the game. The WhatsApp is open if you want to let us know who you're going to vote for your player of the season. I'm just happy we've got
Who did you say?
I would have probably gone with Phil. Only because, mirroring what Steph said, I think the goals that he scored in in games, and
no wrong answer, is there?
No.
I mean,
that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
He stepped up massively when Kevin wasn't playing as well, and Kevin De Bruyne as well. By the way, he's come back and has been absolutely incredible. We're so lucky as City fans. But let us know on the WhatsApp who you are voting for. As we see the live pictures of Rodri pitch side, he doesn't really get fazed by situations like this, Joleon, does he?
No, he's probably one of the most level-headed players in terms of the way he approaches the games. But yeah, his level of consistency. And again, even his first season, when it wasn't a great season for the team, for the club, I still thought he was good.
Yeah.
Considering it was his first season, I still thought he was very consistent. He scored some great goals in that year as well. I remember one at Burnley, but again, it's just whether it's him, whether it's the manager, a combination of both. I think there was a naive thought process on how are we going to change from Fernandinho, and he's been equally, probably more effective in a way, but totally different style. So again, we have to respect him as an individual and as a footballer.
How much does that say about the club as well, Steph? So that when Fernandinho was leaving this club, there were so many question marks as to how you can replace a player like Fernandinho, and they replaced him with Rodri.
Yeah, I think for me, the way that this club works, whether it's from the men's or the women's side, I think that we have such belief in the way that we play, and I think you've got the best coach in the world in Pep Guardiola that can, if you want to come in and try a different role and bring different attributes, he's probably the best person to work under. And I think we said about Rodri adding more goals, assists this season, that was probably what he's thought, right, okay, I need to maybe add that to help the team, obviously after that feeling of winning the Champions League. But yeah, he's massively important, and Fernandinho was an absolute legend, but he does it his own way as well.
It's absolutely, spot on. I mean, we've just seen fixtures of Kevin De Bruyne, pictures of Kevin De Bruyne on the screen. Is there anyone else who could have been nominated for that Etihad Player of the Season? Did Josko make a
late charge, wasn't it? It was a very late charge. They feel like...
I would say Kanji.
Yeah, it's been very good again.
Josko's had
Ake's been good as well.
Yeah.
Josko's had a Joleon Lescott goal scoring defender season.
Still a bit short.
Don't do that.
5 short, yeah.
FG, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah,
we'd have to go to the history books.
But yeah, he's been very impressive, very, very impressive. And I think the Arsenal game in the defeat, he was a standout performer for City, and then his level of confidence and performances have gone through the roof.
And normally there's a lot of talk about first season here, Nedum. Sometimes it takes players a little bit longer, but like we just said, he's settled in really, really well. And
we're talking Vardy here.
Yeah.
To be honest though, it's been like a bit of an arc as well, because some people saw him at the start, said he was great, then they're like, oh no, he's struggling a little bit, and then they finish, no, of course he was always great. Like, it's amazing how short someone's memory can be. But I think another thing to remember is he's like a 21, 22-year-old coming to a new country, learning one of the most complex systems that I think the Premier League's ever seen. And for him to be able to do that, whilst people saying, oh, you're not left back, you're not this, you're not that, I think he's been outstanding, and we're seeing like the quality and the potential that City saw when they decided to buy him.
He was the best centre-back at the World Cup, and then he found himself in a position that isn't his natural one. Steph, Joleon, Nedum, a question for you all.
I'm going to slightly push back against that, but ask the question anyway.
Do you think you could do that, another role to that standard? I think so. I'll back you all.
For me, like, I know this talk saying, oh, he's not left back, but that for me is like a dog whistle saying he should just be at the back heading and kicking it. Like, when he goes forward, he's got quality in possession. He can make really good passes, decisive passes into key areas, and he has the end product as well. Some people say, oh, no, he's not a left back. Like, what does that mean? I want people to then continue saying what they're saying, because at times, as I say, when he's out there, seeing him defend as well as other fullbacks I've seen in the league, but he has the quality in attack as well.
Are you a left back?
I've tried left back once, baffled.
You play right back?
Yeah, I've tried left back once, baffled. Like, to have to look a different way is weird. Yeah. Very, very weird, yeah.
Joleon, play left back?
Yeah, I play left back.
Scored a lot of goals from left back as well.
Joleon was a goal scorer. We'll go back.
No, listen, it is difficult because it's new, but there are elements to it that are probably easier as well. Like, you haven't got to think about someone coming from behind you and closing you down, or there's a line there, so you can navigate the opposition to the line and restrict them. So there are elements to it that are easier, and more enjoyable. Again, for me, I enjoyed the 1v1 element to playing as a fullback, but obviously he enjoys getting forward, and he's not just up there in set pieces. It's free plays, open play, and I think for most of his games, he's been the widest player. Like, he's offering the width, so Pep obviously recognises some quality.
Now, okay, throughout the show, what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about final day drama, and I'm pretty sure everyone can guess where we're starting. We are starting in 2012, 93-20, a fixture where Nedum and Joleon both played, And Steph, let's come to you first. The nerves on that day, what you can remember from a Man City perspective.
I wasn't at the club at the time, but I can always remember watching the game and obviously realising what it meant to the club to go and win. And I think just to even see some of these highlights now and especially that goal as well. I think
it's goosebumps.
Yeah, Joleon said about the noise. I think that was the biggest thing that really kind of resonates with me.
You've probably been asked so much, Joleon, throughout your time, what it was like, the nerves going into the final day.
Yeah, it was fine because, again, we just believed we could beat a team that was struggling at home because we were strong at home. So it wasn't like, it's a foregone conclusion, we're going to win, but we were just confident. So there was no reason not to be confident. Obviously, the occasion was nervy because of what was at stake, but going into the game, it was just, no, we can win.
And at this moment, the Edin Dzeko header.
Yeah, I didn't know this was this late, to be fair, in the game. I thought that was like 85, but then obviously, years after, I recognised that it is.
A word on Nedum.
Yeah, he headed it over me, yeah, you're right.
Is that you, Chief?
That's me, yeah. He stole a march, hit me with a little double.
To be fair, I was going to head that anyway. I was heading that.
He's hit me. I was heading that. Don't forget as well, Edin was fresh because you only start the game with 10 and Aguero. So it's a slightly different challenge there, yeah.
What was it like for you on that day, going up against a team, of course, trying to win it out?
Hated every second of it, yeah. For me personally, like, I understand it now, but to be arriving here as an away player for the first time, like, as a youngster coming through at City, I never wanted to leave. Didn't matter how well or whatever I was doing, I never wanted to leave. So when I had to leave, and then the last game, which was the most important game of my career, was against the team where I knew more players for City than I did for my team at QPR at the time. My friends were the opposition. I knew people in the stands. I knew all the staff. When arriving here and everyone's now rooting against you, it's a really humbling feeling to do it for the first time.
A humbling thing as well for you was probably taking the throw-in, which led to that historic...
Sliding doors, mate. Sliding doors. On reflection, like, I've seen the video from what is the East Stand now, and as I've got the ball in my hand, Jay Bothroyd, our striker, is looking at me, but behind me is the QPR bench, and they're celebrating because it stayed up.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that because I've got my back to it. So when I threw it, he didn't go because he was done for the season. He downed tools. But
He'd come on fresh.
Literally. But he's the only person that downed tools in that moment, and the rest of us, we're thinking, please don't score, please don't score, please don't score. And that noise that you mentioned, it was so loud. I didn't know who scored the goal for City.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just knew somebody had scored. And as it's coming back here, it never comes to my side because I'm with Edin. I think it's Edin at the bottom side. Goes in. Did not know who scored. The highs of winning the league, shirts off. Imagine the lows of getting relegated with the last kick of the season.
So it didn't happen, so don't imagine that.
No, I felt it. I felt it. That's the problem.
It didn't happen. Probably the one time Sergio come short for the ball.
Mario Balotelli.
And obviously, as his career went on for Man City and whatever, you know, he was made for these moments. But like that there,
perfect.
And having conversations with him after, this is when he said he's at his calmest. Them moments is the placement of he focused so much on the placement of his standing foot, so he's able to strike. He didn't care about the strike. He just said, "I just concentrate on where my standing foot needs to be," and it was like, "Oh, you're in a different zone then," because you used to just calm down. He said, "When I get in front of goal, that's when I just relax." I'm like, that's when people just like rush around. I used to panic.
That's why we play at the back.
There you go.
And being the last defender there, he nearly slid in and he could have potentially fouled Aguero as well.
It would have been a pen. He wasn't going down because he weren't on pens.
Yeah, to be fair, that probably could have been a pen, to be fair.
Yeah, but I back Mario anyway. Like, if probably in that moment, under them circumstances, if I want someone to take a pen, knowing the pressure and the world is watching, it would be Mario.
Yeah.
He
wants it, yeah.
Want that.
He wants a bright light.
It wouldn't be just a standard smash. It would be, I'm going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
Steph, would you fancy yourself taking a penalty in that situation?
Hell no.
That just sounds like hell.
Oh, no, that's
absolutely not.
Especially after we heard Erling's talk in the week and talk about him being nervous.
Yeah.
That's a total opposite to Mario. Mario's like, nah, give me a pen.
Yeah, some people, like, I'll be honest, for me, I was always worried about missing.
Yeah.
But for some people, they want their stage to be as big as possible so everyone can watch them score. And that's what Mario was as a player.
Now, Alistair Mann, the man who's behind the voice of a lot of Manchester City stuff, it's a very, very special day for him today because this is incredible, by the way. It's his 500th Manchester City game, which he's commentated on. Wow, what a career, what a legend. We love listening to you all the time. We can't wait to do it more, but Liam was catching up with him earlier on.
Ali, Brownie, a massive day today, but not just for these gentlemen behind us. For you as well, Ali.
Well, not as massive as for those guys behind, but yeah, I mean, it's been nice. A lot of people have said a lot of nice things, and I've had a lot of nice messages, and you know, I'm really, really pleased that it coincides with an amazing day, which we hope will be an amazing day anyway.
Your 500th men's Man City game commentated on. Ooh! When did you start?
Well, the first Man City game I ever did was 1992. And during that period, I've been working for companies that didn't have the rights to do City games. So I've had 3-4 year periods when I did no City games. So there's obviously the last 3 or 4 years doing City Plus, I've clocked up quite a few. But there was a big gap in the middle where I was sat on the roundabout 300-ish mark. So, you know, it's an amazing thing because I'm a born and bred Blue. My family have been Blues. I didn't get the chance to play for the club, which I would love to have done like Brownie. So this has been the next best thing for me, and I'm very, very proud to have got to 500.
What's been the highlights? Do you know, can you give us a couple? Because obviously there'll be so many, but is there any that really, really stands out? There's obviously several. But...
Yeah, I mean, Istanbul was incredible because I never thought they'd get to a Champions League final, never mind win it. And I was so disappointed in the Chelsea game 2 years earlier, and you're thinking, well, it's just not going to happen. So to be there to commentate on that and obviously complete the treble, that was the pinnacle. But actually, 2 years ago, the Aston Villa game will forever be my Aguero moment because I wasn't here for the Aguero moment. I had my match of the day hat on and I did West Brom.
What are you doing not working on that? That's not like you, is it?
I did Wigan v Wolves that day for match of the day, so I wasn't even here for Aguero. So for me, the Villa game was my Aguero moment. So for me, that's the standout moment. It really was.
Guys, you've had the opportunity to work together a number of times. Brownie, what's been your favourite match that you've worked with Ali on?
I think we look at the highlights. I think it was a funny moment actually in last year's FA Cup final.
Sure.
We were sat at Wembley, we were on there, and Ali obviously leads off, away he goes, and says to the team, sets the scene. And we're looking down, and obviously I've still got my eyes on it as he just waiting to see what happens. And then the goal happens inside, was it how many seconds, Ali?
11,
it was like
11 and a bit.
11 and a bit seconds. Yeah. But the funny thing was, Ali's looked down at his notes, and he's not seen it. So I've had to give him a big elbow, maybe not too hard, but ultimately give him the elbow and said, off you go. And he missed one of the special moments so quickly. And that's how, in commentary, you look away for 1 second, and it can get you, can't it? So we need to be a team. You need to help each other out at times. Yeah. But that was one of the funny moments.
It was.
Ali, I've got a little something for you here. Just give this a watch.
No, nobody there.
Wow. Not a bad message that at all, eh?
Do you know what? I'm so touched by that. Wow, I don't know what to say. That's amazing. I mean, the thing with Rodri is I was lucky enough to meet Rodri last year after the Istanbul final, and I said to him who I was and that I did the commentary, and I said, when you scored, I went Rodri, 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 because it was the treble. And I said I just knew that was going to be the only goal in the game. And he was actually quite touched, and I played it back to him off my phone. So it means an awful lot that he was the man that did that. So thank you for that. That's amazing.
I would like to say it doesn't get better than that, but it might just get a little bit better than that. Brownie, you've got some over
So
here.
Rodri is the one that's a standout moment when you're on the commentary. We've got a little bit of a surprise for you, Ali. So just have a little look at this for a second. Let me just roll this out.
Signed by the main man himself.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So Rodri managed to sign it just the other day, ready for you. So
thank you.
500 games and amazing, eh?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. That is amazing.
Alan, we've got comms cam on today, so I better see you wearing that.
Well,
but in the meantime,
I'll put it on now. Yeah.
But guys, back over to you in the studio.
Congratulations on having 500 games on commentary for Manchester City. I think you'll be outstanding, and the way you make feel us when you comment is unbelievable. So yeah, congratulations, and yeah, I see you on Sunday on the pitch. Congratulations.
Oh, I absolutely love it. We love Ali Mann so much. Iconic 500 Manchester City games. 500 more, please. He's incredible, isn't he?
What a guy.
Absolutely unbelievable.
To be fair, from when you work with him, you see like how good he is, like the preparation he puts in, obviously the love for the club as well, because he likes to have a little bit of bias in there. But you know,
that's the best part.
Just sprinkle a little bit, He calls it how people want to hear it, and I think that's the most impressive thing.
We've been asking for your WhatsApp questions. A lot of you have texted in, actually, and a lot of people are backing Rodri for Etihad Player of the Season. We can't argue with you. We agree. And we've got a question.
Me and FG are wrong with Phil.
Yeah, well, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. And we've got a question for you, Steph, from Nuri. It says, what was your favourite memory at Man City? We will really miss you and hope you'll still be around Manchester City next season.
Favourite one? I've had so many. It's been unbelievable. I have to say probably the treble season 2016, winning the league and going to Wembley, winning the FA Cup. That was obviously the first time we were able to play at Wembley as well as a club, and to walk them steps. Yeah, I think that has to be up there. But fortunate enough to have so many amazing memories here.
And based on the second bit where you said we hope to see you around Manchester City next season, we hope to see you on Matchday Live next season.
Yeah, I hope so. If you have us back.
Oh, we'd have you back, of course. Absolutely.
Nedum's panicking. I'm going to take his word.
Steph doesn't give herself enough credit for everything, does she, Joleon? I think.
No way. Like you think about, like Nedum was saying, she's not just Man City icon. She's a footballing icon. Yeah. Like that is a huge thing. And when he was saying it, it made me realise, yeah, you are a real footballing icon and inspiration to a whole generation, which is not many footballers can say. So you deserve all the plaudits you're going to get.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio here as well. Let's carry on talking about the final day drama, shall we? Part 2 is Brighton away in 2019. We were neck and neck with Liverpool in the title race. Liverpool went 1-0 up. We went 1-0 down. And then it was this moment from Sergio Aguero, which I remember so well because it was quite literally instantly.
I like that kit.
It's a lovely kit, isn't it? Sergio, the importance this man has. He has a statue outside the club for a reason, Nedum. But this goal.
Sorry, I'm looking at the assist. That's rotten. What are you supposed to do about that? You know what I mean? But sorry, go on. This goal. It's just, he's class. That's him in a nutshell. You know, when you think about the amount of goals that he scored, and you think about how many big ones he scored as well, like, just seeing his name on the team sheet, seeing him out on the field, you just knew there was always going to be a chance, and you know, history shows that when the chance is there, he takes it.
What's mad, sorry, FG, what's mad with Sergio, I never think back and think of him as a chance he missed. I don't think, remember when he missed that chance? Remember when he missed that? I don't ever, there's never a situation where I think he didn't deliver if he was given the opportunity to. Crazy talent.
And this was a season, of course, we went 1-0 down in this game, Steph, but this group of players, they didn't really panic ever. A great header by Laporte. But both teams in the title race this year got 90-plus points.
Crazy.
Which is remarkable, isn't it?
The levels are so high, and I think that it is down to fine margins. It's a goal here or there, and at the time there, I think that just showed what, as a club, we're about. I mean, Mahrez is just taking the mick a little bit there, isn't he?
Oh my God, because he's on his weaker foot.
It's because, like,
shot, please.
Lewis Dunk's very good at blocking shots, and if Mahrez on his left foot, you're going to try and block it. You don't expect to be sat down at home and just watch it go in the top corner of his other side, but that's him. He's the guy, wasn't he?
I mean, Riyad Mahrez, of course, 2 good feet, but that first touch.
The drag? Because it was like his motion to shoot and fake was exactly the same, so you had to go for the block because he will shoot, but he can, at the last second, just drag it and then you're sitting down.
I mean, final day of the season, you go 1-0 down and it ends up being comfortable. You play against a Liverpool side that push you all the way. How hard is it for a group of players to stay at that level throughout the season? It's incredible, isn't it?
Well, we're not talking about a season anymore. We're talking about 7-8 years of being consistently at 90 points, which is, it's not normal because we've never seen it before. We've seen new levels of consistency, new bars of whatever that is, like 12, 13 games in a row you have to win. Like, again, previous generations, like United especially, they used to go 10 games unbeaten, and that used to be a massive achievement. But now they're going 15 games winning in a row, which is a third of the points you need to win the title.
I think as well, if I could jump in there, people say, oh, it's only City to do it. but City have to do it to win a league title. Some of these titles are winning by a point, by 2 points, so they almost disregard the team that's in second that's also come very close. But instead it's like, oh, it's only City that can do it. I think because City have driven their standards so high, others are trying to do the same. But as a consequence, you can have some exceptional seasons that might not lead to a title, but it shows the sort of ability that they have as a football club.
And here we see the Manchester City youth players coming out with the Youth Cup final happened here against Leeds, and they were absolutely brilliant. So success for them as well. What we'll do is we'll move on to the final day again. Aston Villa 2022. Steph, I'll come to you first because, I mean, it's our final part of the last day drama, and what a last day it was.
Oh, I've never been so nervous for a game. I think the fact that we went 2-0 down and I was actually at the box right next to here, and I was sitting with Noel Gallagher, and he was...
Slight flex.
Pick that up.
He wasn't even watching the game, he was just in the thing, just turned away, and then all of a sudden this all happens and we're scoring, he's back out, and next thing I know is we're winning 3-2 when Ruben Diaz's dad's coming over and punching him in the face. So, yeah, that was my final day drama, but this was unbelievable. I mean, to go 2-0 down is impressive to come back, and Gundogan was unbelievable that game.
Yeah, unreal. Because this was the year when it was the 10-year anniversary for the 93-20, and we did some event with the club, and we was explaining our moment, and we were saying to Cheeky that we'd never want to win it like that, and it's not enjoyable. And he laughed, and then I seen him after the game. He said, "I know exactly how you feel." He said, "I would never want to go through that again because you're so close to not winning, basically, and you recognise that. But yeah, to do it that way, special."
Was Zinchenko coming off the bench this game as well?
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a question for you all. Which one was the most impressive comeback, 93-20 or the 3 goals?
For me, I think the 93-20 because it was the first. I think these guys here, they'd won stuff before that point, so their level of belief was always going to be there. It's always going to be high. Whereas I think for some of those guys, not to speak for them, there might have been a little bit of doubt. And I'll tell you where else there was doubt was in the stadium.
Yeah, sure.
I think the atmosphere in this game against Villa is very different to what it was in 2012 versus QPR. Because when it was 2-1, when they were 2-1 down, listen, it wasn't a great place to be at all. You could hear the stress from management, from fans, from players. But in this one, you know you have to keep believing in them. And they managed to do it. And they had extra time as well. They had extra time to do it,
It was just
crying this game.
It was just a feeling, wasn't it, in the stadium, that when the first goal went in, that okay,
there was a belief.
And a man who deserves so much credit that day is Raheem Sterling for that assist he got, because he come on and he took it past the defender.
Not just that day though. I think his career.
For sure.
Again, however he's documented leaving, but I think he should always be remembered as a City legend because he contributed to so much. And I always slightly gutted when he left and they went on to achieve the Champions League, because I thought there was a group of players, or a core group of that players, that should have won that, and he was definitely one of them for me. Like Sergio.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming so close to kick off. How are we feeling in the studio as we head towards our final thoughts? We can see the live pictures we just saw of the fans, but how are we feeling, Nedum?
I trust them so much, but obviously it's still a game of football, so I just want to see it start and see get used to the patterns of play, see what City are doing, see what West Ham are doing, and then from there have an understanding of how it's probably going to go. I think if City they show anywhere near their true potential, yes, they would win the game. It might not be the most glamorous thing in the world, but as they were all coming out onto the pitch and stuff before, you saw how focused they were. When you think about how good they are as well, that's such a dangerous combination to be playing against.
Steph, how are you feeling? How are the nerves?
I'm actually okay. I'm quite chilled, to be honest. I think I'm excited. I actually can't wait for it to kick off and just see how we go.
Joleon, of course, you've been here before. You look behind us, there's a sea of blue everywhere. It's so nice because it's a nice... It's a nice day, and it's just blue shirts absolutely everywhere. And there's our goalkeeper who's not available today, looking as fresh as ever, looking relaxed as ever.
Is that a T-shirt of himself?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. You can see the tattoo as well on the T-shirt.
That's a humble brag right there.
Oh, wow.
Fair play. But no, he can do that. He is a cool guy.
Anyone else in the studio fancy a T-shirt with themselves on it?
No.
I carry that off. I think you carry that off when you've won the treble.
Well, when you're Edison, you absolutely can. How do we see the first half going then? Because we'll be back at half-time, of course, for Matchday Live. The first half, do you think there's going to be goals? Do you think it's going to be tight?
I think it'll be tight to start off with. But yeah, I expect some excitement, whether it leads to goals or who knows, but I'm just thinking over the 90 minutes we do enough to win the game.
Nedum, we're all unanimous here thinking Manchester City will be full-time Premier League.
I think they will. I think they've got a style of play which wears teams down. So if there might not be goals in the first half as such, but the game will become more stretched when people start getting frustrated with not having the ball from a West Ham standpoint, and then it'll be a case of can they take the chances, and considering they're top scorers in the league currently, then the answer is yeah, they probably will.
And that man again is in the house. He's a good luck charm. He's been to a lot of games recently.
Yeah.
I've seen him everywhere. I wonder if he'll be doing the Poznan today.
I don't fancy him, do you?
Right, let's get some quick score predictions before we head down to our commentary team. Steph, what are we going with?
I'm going to go 4-0, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't apologise for 4-0.
I'm positive about it.
Yeah, nice.
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1, as has been the case in all the VTs. Everyone's feeling 3-1. And I think the way Taze said it, like they were winning 3-0 and then they get like one at the end. That's exactly how I see it, so I'm going to go with them.
OK, well, everybody in the studio is predicting a Manchester City win. We hope we're going to get that. We'll be back to you at half-time, but enjoy the game, keep the faith, and come on, City.
Well, thank you, and a very warm welcome, and that's a genuine statement, warm welcome. It is a baking hot day in Manchester for what could be a sensational and an historic day. On our monitor is a big shot of Alfinger Haaland watching on from the stands, hoping that his wonderful son is going to perform to the highest of capabilities. It is one of those days which those of a certain age will think it compares a lot more favourably to those days when the Blues needed a win to stay up. And in reality, because of all the success this club have had in recent years, you get the feeling that it is a group of players who can deal with the pressure that is clearly going to be put upon them. They're in the tunnel, the players. The atmosphere is absolutely sensational. Pep Guardiola in his matchday notes has been saying that we need you today. We need you like we've never needed you before. Well, the reality is that they've always delivered, the City fans, and they will be absolutely primed to do what they can to influence this winner-take-all scenario this afternoon. Well, they are a side who have made a welcome habit of shattering records as they've established this most glorious era of almost faultless football. But today, City have the chance of doing something that no with them, just to add that extra spice to the occasion. And as I look across and the teams make their way out, there are lots of young family members who are also coming out onto the pitch as well. Cal Walker very proudly holding his newest addition, makes his way out onto the field. The reality is that this could be a particularly special day for him as well. So, an historic day perhaps, and a landmark one for the City Club captain Cal Walker, who features for the 300th time as a Blue. Will his day end with a trophy lift? We knew Stefan Ortega will be in goal, with an eye injury ruling out Ederson for the remaining 2 games of this season. The other change from Tuesday's wonderful win at Spurs sees Jeremy Doku replacing Mateo Kovacic. With Ortega stepping in, 38-year-old Scott Carson is among the substitutes. Indeed, Ederson is the only injury concern today. Well, West Ham meanwhile arrive knowing that they will finish 9th, whatever today's result. Their 2 changes sees Mavropanos and Cresswell into the lineup to create what looks like a back 5. One notable absentee is Jared Bowen, who is ill, but they still